One can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. It's not always that easy.
Research shows that people who have traumatic childhoods have an increased risk for lifelong hardship. Being abused, going hungry, witnessing violence, it actually biologically changes a person. Local 12 Sydney Benter talked to doctors who say that breaking the cycle is difficult, but it is possible.
You know, somebody need those services, please send them to us. We'll work with them, okay?
Ali Rashid Abdullah has been pounding the pavement in Winton Terrace for years.
We had a double homicide back here.
He's a street advocate, so he shows up after violence erupts to help keep the peace. Lately, he's noticed a trend.
More violent crimes, more consistently in the last several years, so we begin to want to address that.
He and Dr. Jonathan Futch, a manager at Cincinnati Public Schools' Jacob Center, are worried about the toll constant violence takes on children in Cincinnati's neighborhoods.
You know, when the kid doesn't know how to read, we teach. When they don't know how to write, we teach. When there's some issues around this thing called trauma, we also need to teach.
Take one of these, give this to your big brother, big sister, anybody that you know.
They want to train people in high-crime neighborhoods how to cope with what they've seen so they can help others do the same. They've got an important ally on their side, a man who's an expert in trauma.
But the cases that really keep me up at night are the children that come in as a consequence of what I consider largely preventable injuries.
Dr. Victor Garcia started the trauma program at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. He's concerned about what he's seeing in Cincinnati recently.
We have the same level of post-traumatic stress among kids, parents, caregivers, infants that we see in the military.
One way to measure trauma is to look at ACE scores. ACE stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. Scores are based on answers to questions such as, did you live with anyone who was an alcoholic or use street drugs? Did an adult in your household often push, grab, slap, or throw something at you? Patrick Russell grew up in Price Hill. He took the ACE test.
I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, so I lived there with my mom, and my dad was in jail at the time.
He got a 10 out of 10.
Throughout my life, it's kind of been a roller coaster of just kind of adversity and just different situations that we've been in as far as addiction and things that my mom and her boyfriend and different people have kind of dealt with at the time.
Studies show people with high ACE scores have an increased risk for chronic health conditions and lifelong hardship. It can even become cyclical. Toxic stress is the culprit.
If a child grows up experiencing too much of this, it actually alters who they are biologically and changes how their brain develops.
Dr. Bob Shapiro with the Mayerson Center for Safe and Healthy Children says it is possible to break the cycle.
A child who has an adult who they trust, who's able to take the stress and worry away from them, take the problem on, if you will, helps that child grow up healthier.
For Patrick, that was Harry Blanton, a mentor who had no idea the impact he'd have on the young boy's life.
There was no real obvious signs. There were just little indicators. And I really didn't know truly what was going on until his mom did lose custody.
Harry was there at a pivotal time. He took him under his wing, showed him stability and another way of life. Patrick graduated from high school, college, and is working toward his master's degree.
It's huge the impact that Harry has had on my life. Otherwise, who knows where I would be.
There aren't enough Harrys to go around, though, and there might never be, which is why Rashid keeps fighting the good fight.
Here, sister.
Trying to inspire change where it's needed most.
What the evidence clearly shows, irrefutably, that it's the neighborhood that is influencing. It's not nature of individuals, it's nurture.
Helping children bounce back can take a village. Sydney Benter, Local 12 News.